Egyptologists open a newly discovered pyramid. Egypt, where officials have revealed the discovery of a long corridor inside the last of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, the Great Pyramid of Giza. According to Egyptian authorities, on March 2nd, researchers discovered a secret corridor close to the Great Pyramid of Giza's main entrance that may even lead to further discoveries. The final remaining example of the 7 wonders of the ancient world is the pyramid outside of Cairo. Former Egyptian Minister of Antiquities Zahi Hawass told reporters outside the pyramid, "In my opinion, this discovery is the most significant discovery of the 21st century." The pyramid, which is about 11 miles from the center of Cairo, is also known as Khufu's pyramid for its builder, a pharaoh who reigned in 2000 BC. Well, this is the corridor. As you can see, it looks like a bit of a chamber, and it was found by the Scan Pyramids project, which is an international program that uses scans to look at unexplored sections of the ancient structures. When searching with a camera through one of the openings underneath the entrance, this scan revealed the existence of a corridor 9 meters long and 2.1 meters wide, with a chevron ceiling. Most likely, this corridor was built to relieve the weight of the pyramid. This corridor may have been built to relieve the weight of the pyramid, but at this point, its true function is still unknown. Corridors like these do often need to further archaeological discoveries, as Egyptian archaeologist Zahi Hawass explains, "If we say that this is protecting or is holding a stones about something we cannot say, it's a corridor at all. There is no way there is a corridor will be here, because that on 7 meters, there is another corridor between the 7 meters and the tunnel that we found today. There is something important, in my opinion, can tell us for the first time that the burial of Khufu still exists, and this is what we could discover, and I'm sure in a few months from now, we can see if I'm saying it's correct or not, but again, we are in front of an azure important discovery." Well, as earlier Egyptologist Dr. Kathleen Martinez said, this discovery is so amazing. It's one of the most exciting discoveries this year, and it can bring great news about many things about the pyramid that we don't know. A multinational study team examined a cavity identified behind the pyramid's north face in 2016 using a cosmic ray imaging approach. Their findings were revealed during a press briefing with Egyptian officials. Don't forget to dig up the subscribe button and join us on a journey of discovery and mystery. This discovery, in my opinion, is the most important discovery of the 21st century. The tunnel was discovered on the northern side of the Pyramid of Khufu using current scanning technologies. It stands 9 meters or almost 30 feet tall and 2 meters over 6 feet broad above the pyramid's main entrance. The function of the chamber, which is inaccessible from the outside, has yet to be determined by archaeologists. In 2017, though, experts claimed that the discovery of another sealed-off passage, this time a 30-meter, 98-foot chamber inside the Pyramid of Khufu. Officials said the passageway was most likely intended to help ease the weight of the massive edifice, which was built as a royal burial chambers around 2560 BC. A recently discovered subterranean tunnel inside the Great Pyramid of Giza by researchers in Giza, Egypt. The pyramid, also known as Khufu's pyramid, was built on the Giza Plateau outside of Cairo by Khufu, a 4th dynasty pharaoh who ruled from 2509 to 2483 BC. According to Christian Gross, professor of non-destructive testing at the Technical University of Munich and a key participant in the project, ultrasonic measurements and ground-penetrating radars were used to find the chamber. He expects that these 2 procedures will lead to more discoveries within the pyramid. The end room has 2 enormous limestones, and the question now is what lies behind these stones and beneath the chamber. Today's discovery indicates that there's something important to be discovered soon under that tunnel, which could be Khufu's true burial chamber. The most recent discovery is part of the global Scan Pyramids project, which was launched in October 2015 by Egypt's Antiquities Ministry and aims to gaze into the massive structures without employing invasive drilling procedures. Because specialists disagree over how the pyramids were constructed, even minor findings are of enormous interest. Authorities routinely publicize them to encourage tourism, a major source of foreign currency for the cash-strapped Middle Eastern country. When we find a tunnel, which is encouraging given the enormous human effort. And since we don't know about how much the pyramids were built, the fact that it was built for a purpose, possibly to lead to a tomb or as part of the process of creating the pyramids, is a fantastic discovery. There have been some exciting findings related to the discovery of this tunnel, including why it could be able to determine whether King Khufu's burial chamber still existed. Well, this is a beginning step in the direction that the discovery of Eternal is going, and just think of where we will be then. There are 2 ramps at the base of the Grand Gallery that surround both sides and go up to the top chambers. A corridor links them to the middle room, known as the Queen's Room, through the center of the ramps at the bottom. Although the chamber is known as the Queen's Chamber, no queen is thought to have been buried here. This room, which is far more compatible with older tombs, was most likely intended to house a life-size statue of the monarch, the inside counterpart of Sir Darb. A Sir Darb is a room that houses the King's Ka statue. The Sir Darb of King Zorse, who built the Step Pyramid at Saqqara, is located outside the pyramid in a small, standalone room. It could have been within the pyramid itself. The chamber room features a pointed roof and naked, uninscribed walls. Fine limestone is used for the walls and the ceiling. The floor is very uneven, almost unfinished. There's no indication of a coffer, and the space is utterly empty. This room looked much the same when it was entered in 820 AD, without the current illumination, of course. The pyramids are all still steeped in mystery and are difficult to understand. But over time, researchers have discovered a wealth of unexpected information about ancient Egypt thanks to them. The pharaohs built these tremendous structures, which have turned out to be some of the most resilient works of architecture ever made, thanks to their technical prowess combined with mythology and superstition. There is still plenty to learn about the Egyptian pyramids, even though you might have thought you had already learned everything there is to know in school. The symbolism and beliefs that governed ancient Egyptian civilization are abundant. It should therefore come as no surprise that mythology served as a guide for everything, even where to build the ancient pyramids. The majority were constructed on the west bank of the Nile, and for a specific purpose. It only makes it natural that the pharaohs' ultimate resting places should be the pyramids, where their souls can start their journey into the afterlife. The sun and the afterlife were closely related concepts to the ancient Egyptians. Osiris, an Egyptian deity who had a strong connection to the afterlife, stood for the power of fresh life. He eventually came to be identified with how the sun cycle produced fresh growth from latent seeds. The sinking sun came to represent death, and the sun died each night in the west. The pharaohs' souls were said to have linked with the setting sun before rising again in the morning, as a symbol of endless life. They resided in an area that metaphorically represented death by erecting pyramids west of the Nile. Egyptology is a very active field, with researchers moving away from deciphering inscriptions and instead excavating and using technology to solve the numerous riddles that remain unsolved. For example, the recent discovery of a 4,500-year-old ramp north of Luxor is providing researchers with insights into how ancient Egyptians may have carted masonry over large distances. The discovery of cat mummies and hundreds of wooden cat figurines in a tomb near the Saqqara burial site demonstrates just how much more there is to learn about the ancient Egyptians. Want to see more mysticism and startling discoveries? For updates that you won't miss, subscribe to the Ancient History channel and click the bell icon to stay tuned.